Politico has a bombshell report here about the presidential race. They say, former President George H.W. Bush is bucking his party's presidential nominee and plans to vote for Hillary Clinton in November, according to a member of another famous political family, the Kennedys. Bush, who's, by the way, 92 years old now, had intended to stay silent on the White House race between Clinton and Donald Trump, a sign in and of itself of his distaste for the GOP nominee, but his preference for the wife of his own successor, President Bill Clinton, nonetheless became known to a wider audience thanks to Kathleen Hardington Kennedy Townsend, the former Maryland lieutenant governor and daughter of the late Robert F. Kennedy. On Monday, Townsend posted a picture on her Facebook page shaking hands next to the former president and this caption, quote, "The president told me he's voting for Hillary." There's two kinds of Democrats. One kind that's going to be happy about this, and the other kind that are sane. So this is beyond frustrating to me, because this is the new Democratic Party. This is the party that has shifted massively to the right on the spectrum over the years and taken the Overton window with it. The Overton window, of course, is the spectrum of what's viewed as respectable debate among elite circles. So today, the Democratic Party is what used to be considered a moderate Republican. And there's no better evidence of it than this. Somebody who was literally viewed as a moderate Republican when he was president in the early 1990s, he's like, yeah, I'm voting for Hillary Clinton because that she more represents my philosophy and my ideas. You know, I'm shocked Bob Dole hasn't come out and said, I'm actually going to vote for Hillary Clinton too, because Bob Dole was viewed as a moderate Republican. Just to give you one example as to why that is, he proposed a healthcare reform that was very, very, very similar to Obamacare. You know, the Republican Party back in those days was for cap and trade to deal with acid rain, I think it was, and pollution. Now, for climate change, you have Democrats who say cap and trade is the way to go, and there is no actual liberal position. There are no actual progressives who say, no, we're to the left of that, because that's a free market solution, so it's the old school Republican solution. Well, again, now you know, they're taking the mask off, man. So the Republican Party now, to steal from Bill Maher, as he said in a New Rules segment a few years ago, it's basically a bunch of religious lunatics and Civil War reenactors. They're just out of their fucking minds. And you have the Democrats, who are a party that are just fine for Big Pharma and Wall Street and multinational corporations and special interests like that. And this is the state of current politics. So definitely in this election, there is no representative in the general election that has a shot at winning who represents an actual liberal vision. It just doesn't exist. Obviously, there's Jill Stein of the Green Party, but if you face facts, it's true that either Trump or Hillary will be president. If you deny that, then you're just wrong, because either one of them will be president. No matter how much we want to wish that weren't so, it is a fact. Trump or Hillary will be president. So there's nobody who's a viable candidate in the race right now who can actually win that represents anything anywhere near a liberal vision. And here we see it again. And the thing is, so this morning I saw there's, according to a new poll, in the last month, Hillary Clinton lost, I think it's 17 or 18 points among millennial voters. I need you to really think about how much she's hemorrhaging millennial voters. Stop. Seriously, think about that. 17 or 18 points in a month you lost? How can that be? How can that be? Well, we actually know the answer. What has she spent the last month doing? Apart from being sick and stuff, which you could argue maybe hurt her a little bit, I don't know really, to be honest. Policy-wise, she has been fully embracing running right, because that's what the idiot standard Democratic strategists tell her you have to do. In the primary, you run left. In the general, you run right. Primary, you run left. General, you run right. But that's an old model, and it doesn't hold true anymore. So when she's out there, as she's been, touting the endorsement of notorious neocon John Negroponte, millennials go, oh, fuck that shit. Millennials say fuck that every time, somebody brings up Kissinger and she shows her fawning adoration for Kissinger. I mean, there's been multiple times in the past month where she's been on stage with Bush-era neocons, thanking them for their support, and giving speeches to the American Legion, for example, where the whole point of the speech is to talk about American exceptionalism and say how we need to maintain a muscular foreign policy. So you're not actually concerned about the policy things that affect millennials. You're not. Does anybody think, nobody thinks that Hillary Clinton really has this deep burning desire like Bernie Sanders did. Oh, we got to find a way to lighten the load of the student debt. We got to do it. We have a crisis on our hands. This is a guy who was pushing for universal education, saying let's at least be equal to other modern nations. Universal health care, same thing. This is why millennials looked at him and they're like, I like that guy. He's representing a philosophy that I agree with and that makes sense. Hillary Clinton, window dressing, and then, okay, now I feel like I have the opportunity. I'm going to run right, go talk with neocons, and get the vote of former President George H.W. Bush. God, that's so sad. Understand, guys, here's the biggest reason why it's upsetting. George H.W. Bush is anathema to liberal values. And he's supporting Hillary Clinton. He has a candidate he supports. So, by logical deduction, Hillary Clinton is anathema to liberal values. Not that we needed this H.W. Bush news in order to conclude that, but it just rubs it in your face more. It just lets you know more, like, haha, gotcha, bitch. Either you go for the insane, fascist monster who says ban all Muslims, kick out all undocumented immigrants, and it is just a serial liar to the extent of which he may even beat Hillary Clinton on the lying front. Either you go for that guy, or you go for the ultimate insider, establishment, corrupt politician. It's so depressing. It's so depressing. I was tweeting about this last night. I said, I think I'm going to start the alt-left. I think that's what I'm going to do. But then people were responding and saying, they already did that, dick. Oh, I didn't know. So if somebody already took that, all right. The left's Tea Party? Something. There's got to be something. The fact that H.W. Bush supports you, you might like, some Democratic loyalist idiots might like, but people who actually care about policy, they look at that and they cringe. And they go, really? Our candidate, the Democratic candidate, the Democratic tent, the big tent party is now so big that we allow in the opposing party and their leadership, and we implement their philosophy because we're so open-minded and diverse. Then what the fuck is the point of the Democratic Party? There is none at that point.